much any design, there is a time and place where it makes sense to use black and white. You might have a white background, you might have black text, and having those colors just in the palette makes them readily available and really quick when you're designing. All right, fonts. So we've got a subtitle font, and it's not necessary to fill every one of these font options. You really, again, basic brand kit gives you the essentials. You need a heading, a subheading, and a body font. And a lot of times I like to add in a script-like font that gets used very sparingly, and that's what this is. And honestly, which category you put them in is not really critical. Bright Sunshine, 36. All right, and then our heading. Heading, subheading, and body, again, are the only ones where it really does matter kind of which slot you put them in for ease of use when you're designing. That's 32. Subheading, we've got Meriwether. And then body. That one was. So when you're picking a body font, it's really critical that your body font be very simple, very easy to read at standard document font size, 10 or 12 font. You want to make sure that it is very clear and very easy to read, because the body font is the bulk of the text that you use in anything you create. Okay, we're going to skip over brand voice. That's a little bit more advanced, and we're going to go for photos. Upload photos. So photos for a brand is really going to depend on your brand. Now in this case, the brand is a coach, and so photos are largely going to be photos of her. If you had maybe a construction company, then photos that you'd want to include in your brand are probably going to be before and after pictures from projects. And you don't necessarily want to add all of those to your brand kit, but you might have a few that were like your banner best projects ever, the most amazing design, the ones that really just pop in your marketing that you do use frequently, and those you definitely want to add to your brand kit. You may have tons of others that you're going to use just periodically. Hey, here's the latest project we did. So kind of think that through, because to lock them into your brand kit, I mean, you can always remove them later, but you don't want to overwhelm your brand kit. The point of the brand kit is quick access to those bits and pieces that you're going to need the most often in order to brand any of your marketing materials that you're creating here in Canva. So we've got a few profile pics with taglines. Actually, so these load in backwards. So if you're going to be uploading a whole bunch, which we are in this case, and you've got a few that are like your key favorite ones you're going to use the most often, load those in last so they end up at the top of the list. Definitely learned that one the hard way. All right, so we really need to clean out these photos. There's a ton of them, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. So for now, we just have a ton of them. It does slow us down when we're designing, but we'll get there. It's a work in progress. And this is going to go very slow, isn't it? Yes, it is. This happens if I hit refresh. The streaming slows me down a lot. Definitely increases the load times. So if you're doing this yourself, your load times should really be pretty fast. And I wouldn't worry too much about it. All right, I'm going to come back to logos or to photos later when I'm offline, because they'll just upload in a heartbeat at that point. And then graphics is where you want to put any other kind of imagery that you might use for your brand. different elements that you might use as decorative. That's what you want to put in graphics. And I don't have those. We've got some that we've pulled out of just the Canva library of images. So I don't have those as separate image files right now to put in here. So for now, this is good enough. It's definitely more than what we had before. So we're going to come back over to brand and back to home and into projects. Now the other thing that I like to do in Canva is I create a brand guide and maybe like a folder where I can keep some templates and things like that that I might use repeatedly for quick and easy access. So we've got a brand vision board in here, and that's where we've got some of those additional elements and graphics, background images, things like that, that we can just kind of jump in and copy. Oh, this one doesn't have the extras. I just closed it. That's a bummer. Okay, so I'm going to jump back over here, back into my Canva account, and open up the brand vision board that I have in my account where I've got some additional elements. So I'll copy those over into the design file for my client. So as you can see, the primary brand board, all done up nice and pretty, is the same as the one from my client's account. But I've got these added pages where I've started collecting various images and elements that I use for various design purposes for her. So let's see if it'll let me do this. Absolutely can copy pages from one of your designs to another of your designs. Now I'm trying to copy it from one team account to another, and I'm not sure if it's going to let me do that. Oh, there it goes. Yes, it did. And they got an error. Reload the page. So some of the images and fonts are not available in the current account. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. All right, well, that did not work. That's okay. There is another workaround. So what we'll do instead, yeah, that did not work. Okay, so it doesn't really want me to be logged into one account and copy to another, and that's what I thought it was going to do. So we're going to hit share, and we are going to pull a template link. So this allows us to share a copy of this design. And so we're going to do it this way. So we switch back over to the other team. Now that we have our copy template, and open up a new tab. That link. And use the template for a new design. So this is going to bring a copy of my file into her account, and we'll just delete the old brand board. So that's a really easy way to share a design that you've made with somebody who is maybe not part of your company or your team, and let them have full access to edit and modify without anything they do ever affecting your original. All right, so if we go to File, we can rename this because it doesn't need to be copy. Project Method Brand Kit. Slow loading. All right, we want to save it to a folder. And we want to save it to the brand guide. So save that there. And then if we go back over here to projects, and we go to the folder called brand guide, and we're going to have 2 now. So how do we know the difference? Well, the one I just put in has this name, Patrick Method Brand Kit. This one is Brand Vision Board. So that's one way we know, is the names were a little bit different. The other thing is if we hover over this, the image doesn't change or move. If we hover over this, we see in the bottom right hand corner it says 2 of 10, and it starts automatically sliding us through the pages so that we can see the full design. And so that's also how we know. So if we click the dot 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 on the old one, we can move that to the trash. So nice and neat. One brand guide, we'll open that up so I can copy and paste elements. And go back up to projects. You can navigate there. You can navigate on the left hand side. Doesn't really matter. All right. And I'm going to rename that folder. I don't really like brand guide. That's a little bit too specific. Because really you only have one brand guide. But branding, so this is going to be logo files, cover images for social media, website, things like that, everything that's contributing to the branding. So I'm going to go into that folder, and we're going to create a new design, and we're going to build a website. So we go to add new, design, create new, and we're going to build this website from scratch. Canva does have plenty of templates that you could choose from to help get you started, and that's absolutely fine as well. So we select website. It is important, if you do want to create a whole website in Canva and publish it, that you do select the website design specifically. It loads in some additional features and functionality that do not exist in other types of Canva documents, files. Lots of Canva documents and files, really the only difference is their size and shape. Otherwise, they all function the same way, and it doesn't really matter which one of them you pick. You can resize it once you have it open if you realize that it's not quite the right size, and it doesn't negatively affect you in any way. But with a website, it absolutely does. It matters, and you'll know right off the bat, because when you're doing a website, you get these 2 extra buttons, preview and publish website. Those buttons do not exist in any other type of design in Canva, and you can't make them appear. So it is really important that you are creating a website file in Canva, whether you're starting from a website template or a blank one like we are. That doesn't matter. It's just important that it is a website. Okay, so get ourselves going here. Now I've already created the web copy, so I pretty much know what I want this website to say and in what order, which is going to speed things up a lot. So really we're just doing design here. So I'm just opening on my second screen my pre-done text. All right. So we are going to put our purple background on. So start there, jump over here, and we've got these little design elements. So I'll pop those in here. I'm not sure what photo of her I want to use yet, but I can pull some of our text, copy, paste these in. We'll edit the text later, but that's getting us started. We jump over here to brand in the left-hand navigation. This is how we access that brand kit that we set up. And once it loads, we'll see the little files that we uploaded. And you can see the color palette in here. We just want a plain old heart. That gives us the most flexibility for text and everything else. And all right, photos. And you can edit your brand kit from within a design as well, which is kind of neat. So I need to pick, what photo of her do I want to use? I didn't manage to upload all the photos, but I do need to pick one, at least for the top of the website. So, which one do I want? And I may end up changing it later, but I've got to start with something. These thumbnails are so small. It makes it really hard to pick something. Can't even see facial expressions. It's tough. I like her stance there. Does the face get a little friendlier though? She looks very serious there. And Nicole is incredibly friendly. Oh, that one. I like that one. We're going to start with that. Nicole might make me change it later. She has her own opinions about her photos, but it at least gives us something to talk about. And you can't add it yet. You have to save when you edit the brand kit. Save it, yes. Okay, and then we can click on it and we can add it. And then we're going to click Edit Photo. Oops. Click it once, not twice. And click Background Remover. And it's going to clear the background right out of that photo. All right, now she's sitting on thin air, but that's okay because we don't need to see all of her. In fact, we're just going to crop this a bit. Crop it a bit more. Yeah, we may not stick with this, but it's good enough for the moment. It gets us started. All right. I'm just going to grab that bit of text too. Not that we want it to say vision board. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this. It might be tough to read once I write the whole thing. Do I have my workbook in here? I do. I just wanted to look at another design I had done for her, see what it looks like. All right, become the architect of your own destiny. That sounds better. Feels kind of hard to read. I have a tough time with that. I don't have any problem reading it whatsoever, but I hear from other people all the time that fonts that I think are just fine are not. So I've learned to be super cautious about that. All right, so leave that for now. Take that out. All right, so We've got our little heading there, and then we want to call out pain points and help people discover exactly what Nicole does really quickly. So now, something else to keep in mind when you're doing a website in Canva is this looks super small. If you look, it's actually a font size 15, which is probably just fine in most fonts. We're operating at a 50% zoom. So if you close that left-hand toolbar and you zoom in to closer to 100% zoom, that's important to kind of do that check for yourself periodically to determine, are your fonts large enough? Are they legible? Because otherwise you're going to find that you're kind of eating up lots and lots of space, and you've got these gigantic fonts, and then you upload and publish your website, and you go to look at it, and everything feels like it's just super zoomed in because it's just so big and in your face. So that is definitely important to kind of keep in mind, that perspective in Canva in a web design situation is a little less on the nose than it is for other Canva designs. So, let's see. Have you faced abuse and trauma and find yourself battling trust issues, anxiety, or emotional turmoil? Do past experiences still shadow your daily life, relationships, career, or financial stability? It's time for change. I'm going to reorder some of this text. Okay, it's time to change. Transform your trauma into triumph. And actually, we want that to be really big. Probably want both of them to be pretty big. Copy that text box. Take these out. Take that out. So varying the style of your fonts can help draw attention to really important points and just add some visual interest, because tons and tons of the same font, nobody wants to read that much. It really bores them. And so that's why it's also important to have a couple different fonts available to you in your kit. So script fonts, you want to keep that to a minimal number of words at a time. So it's time for a change. That's not so bad. Hopefully that's legible. I'll get some other opinions before we take this live. And then transform your trauma into triumph. I'm going to make that Merriweather. Is that what we used here? It is Merriweather. And this one, the A's will toggle between all caps and title case, just caps and lower caps. So and let's make that centered. Really want to worry about what it says first, and then worry about getting everything kind of sized and aligned in a way that is attractive. Then as you're sizing and aligning in a way that's attractive, you may decide you need to alter your text a little bit. That's pretty common. All right, the Petrick method. Become the architect of your own destiny. Have you faced abuse and trauma? Good to keep short, simple sentences. Do you find yourself battling trust issues, anxiety, or emotional turmoil? Do past experiences still shadow your daily life, relationships, career, or financial stability? Cool, that works. Let's try bullet points. increase this font just a little bit. There we go. All right, we are off to a good start. So next page, and we're not gonna do everything in purple. That might get to be a little bit much. So let's see if we've got some design templates that have some layouts we can borrow. Let's see. Just kind of reminding myself what I made the workbook look like. Keep on par with our designs a little bit here. Just a video. I want slides with layouts. Love coaching. Nope, I don't like those layouts. So I'm not looking for colors and styles. I did not want to add that page. What I'm looking for is layout. So I don't want video. I want multiple slides. I'm looking for slide layouts. Ugh, not liking them. So here's a trick. Not a ton of templates to choose from. Layouts can be hit or miss. Sorry, we can't find any. That's not uncommon. Canva doesn't have a ton of website templates to choose from. That's still kind of a fairly new thing that they're doing. But what you can do is you can go to their presentation templates. So what we're going to do here, back into projects, back into branding, and we're going to add new, design, create new. And what we want is a presentation. That's one of the other differences between the type of design you choose is it affects what turns up in the template search. So we want the 16:9 ratio presentation because it's really, really close to the size ratio for the website. And so any of the layouts, they're not going to require a whole lot of tweaking. We can copy them over into the other design, and they're going to be laid out for a landscape rectangle. So it's one of my nice little hacks. And the presentations, there are tons and tons and tons of templates, all sorts of different layouts. So we're going to search coaching here in presentation layouts and hope we can get some nice design choices that we like. Well, these are nice. Those are well done. Let's see. Let's apply all 15 of these. To say apply all 15. There we go. All right. All right. So how are we doing here? All right. So I'm hesitating here because the image kind of falls off the side of the page. And with a web page that then continues to scroll, that probably won't look very good. It looks far better in a presentation where This is just the size of the page. So yeah, let's try this. So I'm just going to highlight these elements. I just clicked and dragged, and Control C for copy. And I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to add a new page, and I'm going to paste here. If you don't see this layout here, that it's kind of tough to spot. It's right down here, right above where it says page, this tiny little arrow, and you click the up, and it'll show you this view of the pages. So this, and now we do want to change the font, because that is not our brand font. That's going to be Merriweather. And it's too big. There we go. That's better. Get some text in here. All right, and again, it's not the right font, but I'm actually not going to keep changing these because if we pull more templates in from that other design, we're going to pull in more fonts that aren't ours. So we'll come back to that. Change all of them at one go. All right, and we want to go from here, subheading. Have to line that. Move those out of my way. All right, cool. Highlight, Control C, Control V, paste, and Howard. I am thriving. And then, I am, that's long. So I am stands for intention, action, and manifestation. But I did like how it was a different color, so actually, bold that. And then manifestation, bold, gold. Okay. And that eye is still not bold. Try again. There we go. All right, I am surviving. I am empowered. I am thriving. Awesome. And we'll worry about photos later. Just want to get the gist of the layouts and the text in here, and then we'll go back and fine tune it. All right, so now we've got benefits. Benefits. So it's a bullet point list. So, yep, this one couldn't do the trick. So we're going to copy all these. Paste. Oh, that's a little bit big. So make that a little smaller. Because we've got 4 bullet points that we want to work with here. So get that lined up with the guidelines. Make that wider, use up all of our space. And I don't like how those are aligned. All right, so let's see, we've got experience of transformation. And then first bullet point. And we want to make sure this is being centered so that no matter how big it gets, it's lining up with our little checkbox. All right. Cool. 2, highlight them, duplicate, drag down, see how it's 37, 37. Now we know that they are spaced evenly. And then copy the next bit of text. And the last bit. Cool. Okay, next slide. And these are our deliverables. So I like how that gets darker. I think maybe we want to do our background. So maybe we want benefits. Yeah, we can go every other slide. That might make sense. Sweet. Okay. Deliverables, what layout do I want? This is another sort of bullet point list. And text was on the right last time, so we want to switch up the layout to keep things interesting. I like the circle there. I think I'm going to take the graphics from here, bring them over here. And we're going to take this, and yes, I know it looks like crap on the purple. We'll come back to it. And bring that over here. All right. And what you'll receive. All right, so we've got mind shift workshops, actionable steps, and we got neuroscience based course, weekly coaching sessions. Oops, don't want that. All right, and we need one more. And we want to get it lined up on the left. That's what the little pink lines are for. And spaced evenly, 37. All right, and then last one, supportive community. Okay, and then these lend themselves to some bold text, so come in here. bold. Bold. So I'm doing bold by using keyboard Control B, a little faster than moving my mouse all over the screen all the time. All right, cool. Next section, outcome statement. So which layout do I want for this? Probably want text on the right. Right. On the right, and we are going to have a picture of Nicole on the left. I'm just going to throw this one in here for now. We'll come back to it. Get a different picture. All right, got some text.